everyone. Welcome to our March development live stream for Ashes of Creation. I apologize. I have a lawnmower. Earlier, Stephen had
That was so
what-
funny, Margaret, when you came on and said hello. The lawnmower just started picking up and
I know, it was
moving. It's
great.
like, "Whirr."
it was like
Perfect timing.
the perfect timing. And earlier, Stephen had like vacuuming happening when we were recording other stuff. So it was just, it's one of those days when you're working from home and it's affecting everything. So welcome to our glorious development update. If you've never seen one of these before, we kind of go over all of the things that all of our departments are doing and making, and it's fabulous. But of course, I'm Margaret Crone. I'm your community marketing lead. And with me, as always, is the one, the only, our lead game designer, Jeffrey Bard. How you feeling today?
Hi, everybody. Doing really good. Got some good sleep last night.
That's good. It's always hard to find those moments of good sleep, right?
Jealous.
It's rare with a toddler, but I got it last night. I'm super stoked.
Nice. Did she just like sleep through it all? Is that why?
She did the whole night all by herself. No potty
Awesome.
breaks, no nothing. It was wonderful.
Woot. And of course, our lovely Sandal Lord. And what do you call you? Should we
Duck
call you
Commander.
King
Duck
Duck?
Commander.
I was
King-
King
King
of
of the
Duckingham
Ducks.
Palace.
Yes.
Our creative director, Stephen Sharif. How are you doing? How are the ducks? We need to know.
I'm doing good. The ducks
should
are
just do a
also
duck
doing
stream.
good. You know, I'm
You
just going to
should.
post some pictures on the Discord later today. They're nesting in their little house that we got them with some straw we put in it, and they're keeping warm at night in that house. So it's going good. It just got constructed on Wednesday.
That's awesome. I love it. It's been interesting seeing all of his little duck updates. We have a pet photos channel, but it kind of has turned into just animals all the time. And
Oh, yeah.
everyone at the company posts stuff in there, and it's great. I think we even had a weird bug that someone found. What was that bug?
It was
That's a
a
scorpion
whip
spider.
spider.
Coconut?
Or
Oh, I thought it was a
whatever.
coconut
Whip scorpion.
ant.
Whip scorpion
Oh.
or
Okay.
camel spider.
Anyways, it was
Yeah.
terrifying.
But if you haven't joined us before, today we will be going over our reminders, our studio update, our design update, our environment art update, and character update. And then we will be doing a Q&A segment where we will be answering some of your questions. Our lovely community manager, Lieutenant Toast, put together those. And of course, if your question doesn't get answered here, she's amazing and goes through and answers a lot of them on the forums. So definitely go check there, even if you don't see your question answered here. But with that, we will go through our quick updates. I'll try to make it quick. So first and foremost, we have our monthly cosmetic swap over for The Root of Conquest, and that will be April 7th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Pacific. It's up in our news post. We always let you know whenever the swap over is happening in advance as well, so you can go check that out. And of course, we've had
Chunky
our
ram.
hype. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just love that ram.
Oh yeah, the Rams, my chunky boy Ram. I love it. And of course, we had last month, our dev discussion was in terms of Ashes hybrid combat, where do you think you'll be speccing your character? Majority action-based guild or a majority tab-based guild? An even mix of both, and why? And you all gave us some wonderful answers. We've already compiled that and sent it over to the design team. I know that's gonna have a lot of discussions. It's already, I saw one of the programmers saying like, I'm gonna try to break the system. So we'll see what happens in regards to all of that, and we'll be taking in all of your feedback. I know that's something that Jeff's team will be reading over thoroughly. And of course, we have our dev discussion for April, which will be on mentoring. So get your mind in that headspace, and we'll share that with you. And with that, we also are now adding these guild gathering discussions because we are building out some of our guild systems and social systems of sorts. And last month's question was, what guild hall features would you like to see in Ashes of Creation? What features have you liked from other games? What features do you think have been missed opportunities? And you have already been providing us wonderful answers for that. So thank you all so much. And of course, we will have another one coming up in April, and it's going to be about measuring success. And I think this is one of the things that is super important for guilds, right? We want to be able to feel like we've accomplished things and that we're competitive with other guilds. So I'm definitely curious to see what the community has on that end. And of course, we have announced our playtest dates that we have changed up a bit. And our next one will be May 14th through May 21st. And of course, if you are already part of our preview testing, we will be doing spot testing with you. We have already been doing that, but that is all under NDA. So, shh.
Yeah, just to touch on this a little bit, those of you who didn't see the announcement for the changes in the dates, this was something that was definitely possible. Obviously, we can't predict the unknowns that come out of our testing, and the testing is very important. It does provide us that data, and our Alpha 1 testers have done a tremendous, amazing job in kind of, putting up with all of the bug tests and spot tests that they've had to kind of endure. But we did see some significant improvements that even our testers are very happy about with regards to stability. And we did solve some issues that we found in February, and now are moving back and forward again. So, there's always a potential, a possibility when you're in active development that timelines are going to change. We try to, make that commitment that we only give you dates when we're very, very, very confident, 100% confident that they're going to happen. But obviously, at the end of the day, things come up. We're trying to make the best possible game, and that's going to take time to address. And that's what we're here to do.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that, and obviously the development update stuff. But yeah, we're going to find things along the way. That's the beauty of development.
Yes. And it's
sometimes
always good to find that stuff earlier than it is to find it later. And that's why, we are doing this thing in a transparent, process. We're showing you guys monthly updates. We're giving you monthly game footage, and you can see that progress in real time happening as you're part of this process with us, being able to give us feedback, and you see those little changes get made because of the feedback that the community's given us, such as the fireball animation, the combat reworking that's going to be showed off. Like this is a cool experience to have, not just as a team developing the game, but shared with our community, you guys, because it ensures the quality of the product when it comes to market is going to be up to all of our standards and is going to make all of us proud. So we appreciate the patience, appreciate the understanding. It's a process, and you guys are with us every step of the way, and we love it.
Yeah,
People
also
want a
just
deck
wanted to
mount.
say, we're doing some really cutting edge stuff. Like, we're kind of at the bleeding edge of what technology allows for. And so, yeah, that's one of the reasons why, stuff keeps changing so fast. Is we're kind of learning as we go because we are pushing boundaries really, really far. So it's pretty exciting.
We have a very ambitious project. We know that. We know you all have been telling us that too. And with that also comes great responsibility, right? Y'all putting a lot of pressure on us, but it's pressure we're putting on ourselves too. I think we all are MMO gamers. At least
Oh,
I know
yeah.
the three of us are massive MMO
We
players.
love pressure.
We've been doing this for years since we were
Don't
little
crack.
kids. And, also some of us have worked on projects that we've been really part of. And being able to be part of a project where this is the game that we've all dreamed of is just, something that you can't replace. But it also takes time. So I'm going to toss it over to you, Stephen, to first give us our studio update. Anything you want to talk about on that front?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have continued our hiring, and we are continuing to hire. So the more you guys help us get that word out, the better. Thank you guys for that. You've been doing a great job on social media, tagging dev people and pointing them to Intrepid Studios. We need to, grow considerably more, and we'll probably be announcing a next hiring phase, I would say, around the start of summer. May even have some type of job fair that's virtual and physical when we get back into the new studio. Very excited for that as well. We might be accelerating that timeline. Originally, it was planned for July 1st, but it might be happening a little bit sooner. So can't
I'm
wait
so
to.
excited for the new
I
studio.
know. I know.
Also
It's gonna
to
be
see
fun.
everybody. I miss you all.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
gonna be fun to get back in and actually talk to people in person again. I'm excited.
I don't know if
Yes.
I'm going to be awkward even more than I already am.
Yeah,
I
for
haven't seen
sure.
people in ages.
It's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be a great weird because it has been far too long that we have not seen each other in person. So with that being said, we also have finished a considerable amount of testing around problems that we saw, as I said earlier, in February. We've addressed those, and we have fixes in place for them that have been now tested with the Alpha 1 testers, and feel very confident on that front. Development is moving forward. We have a lot of automation testing that's being coupled with our NDA testers, and we are running a lot of spot testing. Right now, we're actually moving from Unreal Engine version 4.25 to 4.26. I believe that was completed today, and then the rest of the studio is going to sync up starting next week. So that's a big update to the project. And I think that's the gist of our studio update.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got a lot going on, and we're just trucking along, getting everything going. So moving on from our studio update, we also have our design update. I think before, because I know we're going to play a video, we're going to show off some things as well as a little bit of the automation stuff that Stephen was talking about. But I don't know if you want to preface it or if we want to talk about some of the Alpha 1 testing that has been happening so far and maybe go into what
Sure.
happened in February and why we have changed some of the dates and things on that sort on that end.
Yeah, absolutely. So I won't get too technical on what happened in February, but essentially, the means of this testing is to determine kind of both the foundational networking structure that's present in the game to facilitate high concurrencies that we want on individual world shards, as well as in kind of dense locale areas within the map. We did experience some issues that were deep in code that had to kind of get routed out and fixed, and we were able to do so, obviously, with the help of our Alpha 1 testers. The video we're going to show you here in just a second, it's a short little video. We recorded it about an hour ago, but so it's not unedited, right, as usual. But we just kind of take you across to some of the areas that have been kind of reworked, introduced, show you some of the corruption stuff, show you some of the new starting area changes. The environment team's been doing a great job in kind of updating these places, kind of stuff that hasn't been touched on the Alpha 0 island that's also incorporated in the Alpha 1 map. So starting area changes, I think, look very good. Lighting changes look great. The corruption areas are really cool. And then also we kind of ended off by spawning a bunch of bears. Those of you who follow kind of on Reddit or see tweets about this, I accidentally fat-fingered spawning some NPCs that we test with, right, to kind of test server stability and performance. And instead of spawning 500 bears at once for all the testers to fight, I spawned 5,000 bears. These are fully operational NPCs. They have behavior trees. They have AI blackboards. They are functioning as an NPC would. And to my surprise, to everyone's surprise, actually, the server handled it quite well. 5,000 entities, all within a very dense area. And you'll see kind of a little bit of that here in this video. But we can discuss, I think, more of the video after everybody has an opportunity to watch it. It is in 4K, keeping in mind I am rendering it on I think a 1080 Ti on a 4K widescreen monitor. So, my FPS when I spawn all those bears, my rendering FPS goes down a little bit. But as you can see, the bears are operating quite well. But we can chat a little bit afterwards, I think.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is all work in progress. This is pre-test of Alpha 1. This is Vera. In its current state, so things will only get better from here.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the photo that or the screenshot that Steven shared on Twitter, it's retweeted on our official Ashes of Creation Twitter too. But you have to see it just toast in the middle of like 5,000 bears. we lost the toast. All right, well, we'll be right back after we play a short video for you all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another 4K video inside the world of Vera with our Alpha 1 pre-testing. I'm joined by our amazing Luperza, Margaret Crone. Hey, Margaret, how you doing?
Hi, I'm excited.
Yay! Yeah, and I noticed you're rocking the hairdo.
I know, this
I
hairstyle
love
is
that
so
hair.
cool. Yeah, it's one of my faves.
I can't wait to see more of those. We also have Toast.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy
also
Friday.
Rocking a hairdo. It's just on the front of my face.
Oh yeah, you got the
That's
the
great.
beard going on.
I like the little beads.
I noticed you're not Tiny Toast right now.
Yeah, apparently I already had a character called Tiny Toast here, so I switched it up.
Oh, Sam.
Just regular size toast.
Just regular pint-sized toast.
And then over here in the cool robes, we have Mr. Jeffers.
I'll be your mage for today.
Oh, yeah. Plain of me. Very nice. You know, we fixed that black hole. I don't know if you know that.
Did we really fix it?
Well, not really. We just removed the pull effect until we can actually fix it.
What the viewers missed earlier was Jeffers porting himself into the wall.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
pretty cool.
We rescued him. He's
I
okay
merged
now.
with the wall.
But
He was trying to get to platform 9 3/4.
I know, and he didn't make it. It's so sad. Uh, but as you guys can see, we're here in the starting area for the Alpha 1 map, and we're just going to kind of take you through and show you some of the updates that are being made. I know that we announced the delay in Alpha 1's NDA release. And there's good reason for that. You know, there's some stuff that we found back in February that in February's testing that was problematic, and you don't know you're going to find that stuff until you find it. So we took the better part of February and March, and we've actually fixed those things. You might have seen some updates about that on Reddit or in Discord, and we'll show off some stuff as we kind of run around. But let's take a look at the new starting area. I know it got some tender love and care from the environment team. Let's run around up here. Oh, you know what? Don't we have mounts?
I have a mount. Do you have a mount?
I do. I have a fox. Ooh, you guys have
Oh, I have a
foxes
fox,
too!
too.
Oh, look
Oh,
at us.
no.
Where'd you guys get your foxes from?
You guys are all too close to me.
Oh,
There you go.
we should. Oh, you know what? These foxes have a really cool effect on the sitting. We should line up and sit together at the same time.
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah, where'd
We
you go?
lost Toast.
Oh, did we
Oh,
lose
there we
Toast?
go.
I see Toast.
No, I lost
I see.
Steven.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Line up. Wait for it. Wait for it. And sit. Aww. Yeah, these are a great mount. I think Jinsey worked on this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of the effects yet, though. So there's gonna be
Yeah, we
some
haven't
like,
done a VFX pass on this, but it should be pretty rad.
yeah, there's
It's
gonna be
really
like
cool.
fire and stuff.
So what you're saying is
When-
it'll look even more adorable than it does now.
Pretty much.
When we were designing this, I was like, Catkins, Myers, please, can I have two tails? So I'm glad they let us put that in the design.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can walk with yours by pressing period. Oh, I love its little walk. It's just like, what's going on? But as you guys can see, there's been some significant lighting changes here in this area. There's been some work on the foliage, on the trees that are available, toned down some of the ruins, rearranged some of the tents, and it's starting to look pretty good in this area. Oh, there's Sergeant Landry. I just like how
Has
we're
he got a
walking.
quest for us?
Sergeant Laundry.
He will always have a
Mr.
quest.
Laundry.
Mr. Laundry.
I call him Sergeant Laundry.
He was our first quest giver ever, so I think he'll always have a spot.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's like an Easter egg throwback to the original.
Let's see what his quest is. Ah, we've made it to the other side of Vera. Thank goodness we've arrived. I need to put to work immediately. What is your specialty? I am a channeler of life and death. What are you guys?
I'm a tank.
Oh, nice.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
It says you are a tank.
Mine says I'm a channeler of life and death. It's like, I'm tank.
I'm a tank. Hey, don't judge me.
Ours
okay?
is much more flavorful.
Here, I'll do this.
I'm Tank.
Aw.
Let's see. Okay, it says to head down this old road, take a left, and you can't miss them. I will fight against these. What are they? Animated armors? You guys have seen this quest before.
Yep.
Why don't we, we should take them and show them one of the new areas. Look at Jeff's just strolling.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Which one do you want to look at, Jeff?
Let's see. There's this cool corrupted area we've been working on. It's not
Ooh.
quite finished, but it's looking really good right now.
Okay, so like corruption,
Bring
by
us-
corruption you mean that essentially like some of the areas in Vera obviously have significantly more influence of corruption, and you can kind of see that in the environment itself, right?
Right. It kind of wants to reach out and take control of things that are around it, so it slowly grows over time. And I think there's an area here where it's kind of made a really good purchase.
Let's take it.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't even know how I attacked you.
And PvP.
Oh no.
The flag.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's because my push to talk is alt. And that's also the force attack.
Jeff was saying earlier that his push attack is his dodge roll, so if you keep seeing him dodging,
Yeah,
that's
if you see
why.
me dodging around, that's because it's on control.
Well, I apologize, Toast. Yeah, Jeff, take us there. We'll port to you.
All right, let's go. Hang on. I'm almost there. And hang on. That was not a good place.
Did you get sent to bad place?
Are you?
I got
Did you
sent
fall
to
through
that
the
place
world?
a few times. I keep falling to the world.
I love the lighting. As I'm just waiting for you to get to where you need to be. I'm kind of running.
I'm losing Toast. She's cheating. She's pushing me.
We need
Oh,
some
no.
J.J. Abrams lens flare in this. I'm just kidding.
All right, I think I'm in
Don't
a good spot now.
Would you like to?
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, the lens flare. Yeah, it is kind of cool.
All right, I'm gonna port to you.
Don't look into the light.
All right, moving to Jeffers.
On my way. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, not
Oh,
like
no.
this. Oh no. It's okay. Hold on. Let me try it again.
You look like
I
you're
made
on
it.
solid ground.
I made it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw there was under the world of Vera, there is a deep, dark place filled with water. No,
Water as far as the eye can see. Steven, you're going the wrong way.
oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
Hebrew.
Toast is T-posed on her Vox.
Whoops.
Might want to
Wait, did
dismount
I find
now.
you guys? Okay.
There you go. All right. Where are we going? This doesn't look very corrupt. This looks
it's
nice.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I'd,
does not look
lush,
corrupt.
lush,
I feel
lush
lied to.
Jungle.
I'd build a house over here.
You might not. The property values are going to go down pretty quick.
Uh-oh.
I guess it depends on what you place as a value in your home.
So where are we going?
Follow Jeffers.
Huh. Some of these plants are looking a little sad.
The tail movement, the tail animation is very hypnotic.
Oh,
Oh, whoa.
Watch
What
out
is
for
this?
pretty
pretty Lily.
Ah!
The perfect. Oh, uh-oh.
She
Coming
doesn't
for
like
us.
me.
No, she does not like you.
We should probably be in a party.
Oh, yeah. we
Is she
should.
dead? Oh, yeah, we should be in a party. Hold on, let me invite you guys. Alright, I got Jeff. I got Toast. And I've got Luparza.
Yes. It is a me.
Alright, where are we going? Oh, it looks like it's getting a little...
I can
Ooh,
see,
look at
yeah.
that.
It's kind of
This
reaching
area
out.
here,
I
yeah.
kind of love it.
So now, as things progress in the world, these corrupted areas dynamically evolve with the progression of nodes, yeah?
Yeah, all of our POIs and kind of just the world in general can react to the node. We don't have to, but we can. And this is one of those places where as civilization grows, this will grow kind of in contest with it.
Oh my gosh. So this is cool.
Oh, are you over there killing stuff?
Oh, why are
Yeah.
you... Oh, you're green. I thought you were red. So you...
I'm just
the,
protecting you all.
the corruption on these tree assets is really cool. Like, you can see it's kind of has some crystalline formations, but it's also like affecting the
The
ground.
veins, yeah.
That's interesting. Ooh. Okay. It's getting a little darker as we move in. Oh yeah, this is creepy.
I like the creepy vibe.
Now this area is still in develop. I mean, still being actively worked on though. Yeah.
Yeah, actively worked on. We just had a check-in with Mia, who was doing this area last Monday, and she checked all this stuff in, so we're kind of looking at it and giving her feedback.
Turn the
We
HUD
still
up.
got a few more passes, and then I think we'll be done with this relatively soon.
Yeah, this is creepy.
And then once it's done, we'll do a population pass, and then that's kind of how we work towards getting stuff like this complete.
Oh, it looks great. I love the lighting and the effects around the base of the tree over here. That's kind of cool. It'd be fun
And
as
they're
like
also,
if you were
during the live stream,
proximity.
You're going to see some of the other progress towards this, so it'll be interesting to see it in game versus
Yeah.
some of the screenshots we have.
If you like had some proximity check on this like tree, for example, and like as players walked into the area and it started spawning like corrupt creatures, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be very
I like
cool.
it.
Little like whips and chains come off the tree, like attack you and restrain you.
Oh, what was that noise?
Oh, my note?
No,
It's the
there,
corruption.
Oh, we have an
That was happening,
untextured.
but
We
I
have an.
meant like a creature. There was like a whooping noise.
As you guys will see, as we said, this area is in active development, so you see a little untextured rock here.
The gray box texture.
The gray box texture, yeah.
One of the things I love about this area is that like the whole like geometry of everything is off kilter, right? So it's like not only do things get creepier,
Yeah.
but they also just start feeling wrong. It's pretty cool.
Very Torn
Mhm.
Earth-esque.
Like the Earth is trying to eat itself.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're walking on.
Walking on sunshine. Hey!
Still being actively worked on.
Oh,
Can we
it
make
looks
these
great.
creepy
Oh, look at
things on the
that!
ground throb
There's some dungeon up
you
here.
want to?
Like pulsate.
and pulse.
Ooh, it's getting redder the deeper we go in. Ooh, another
I'm
untextured rock.
expecting a big boss over here.
Oh, there's like some creepy gate over here. Oh, okay. Wow, look at the. I love the rocks and the lighting.
The
Looking
real
good.
question is, what was this before?
Oh,
Kinda
there's some weird creature.
Uh-oh.
There's a suffering wanderer. We should kill it.
I don't know if we
Hold
can
on,
kill
let
it.
me turn my HUD back on. Well, it's suffering. We should put it out of its misery, you know? Oh, let me see if I can. Oh, it walks all weird. No!
Oh,
Get it!
creepy.
What does it do?
Oh yeah, we can kill this. I thought you meant the big one over there.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Feels good.
What do we got? Okay, what about this dude? Can we... He looks harder.
He's definitely harder.
Let me try to pull... Just, I mean, we should... If it's starting to... Well, let's see. Hold on. Get off our world! Yeah, he's gonna be... He's
Oh
gonna
my
be...
gosh.
He's gonna take a while.
It's like barely budging.
No. No. Okay, you guys have seen this one though. Let's run. Let's run. Let's go over. Let's go outside again. You know, something that was cool that players, you know,
It
outside
doesn't
of
help
Alpha
me. I
1
might have to
testers.
sacrifice myself.
No, I would just
I'ma
run.
keep
Jump
you
on the
alive.
fox and jump.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, I'm running.
Something that was cool that we did a couple weeks ago, and I posted on it on Twitter, and then I think somebody put it on Reddit as well. But I accidentally I accidentally summoned 5,000. It was really an accident, honestly. I summoned 5,000 bears. But the cool thing that happened was is that our server didn't crash, which is, you know, these are actual NPCs with, you know, behavior trees and a blackboard and AI component. And even though it wasn't good on the rendering side, the cool test was that the server was still operating at, you know, above 10 FPS, which is good. And those are processing frames, not rendering frames. But maybe we find an open little area over here. We can summon some of these just to show you guys.
Another
Like,
5,000?
no. I don't know. Oh, somebody's flying.
50,000.
How'd you do that? Oh my God, you're all flying. That was
I'm not
cool.
flying.
No, you're
I'm
not.
That's flying on me.
no one's flying on
Yeah.
my screen.
Oh, okay. It looked like you guys
Maybe
like flew
server, like,
in. Yeah.
when we
All right.
over there, then.
Let me show you guys. So, big part of you know, obviously of our testing is automation. You know, we have bots that we play with. We have actual testers that jump in, the Alpha 1 testers, and then we also can summon bears. Let me summon some bears.
It was pretty funny though. Toast got lost in all the bears.
Really?
It's such a good screenshot. And I took another screenshot, and you can just see bears for like miles up a hill. It's crazy.
There we go. I summoned some bears. 10 of them.
Hi,
So
bears.
pretty.
So
So
you-
you 5,000.
No, just 10. I just wanted to show how the 10 of them appear. And now let me
I
summon
kill
some. Yeah, you can kill one. You go ahead.
Yeah, they have behaviors, so.
Oh, that guy was easy to kill.
I think they're all.
There
easy.
you go.
Fairly easy.
Yeah, we're level 10 and these are just little
Yeah.
level 1 boys.
All right, here, let me summon a few more.
Define a few.
I'm gonna summon 100 now. Oh no! Oh, I don't know if we could actually. They're aggroing. Run, flee! Okay, wait. Let me summon a few more. Summon a few. Oh my! Wait, they're loading in. They're loading in. Oh no! I summoned 1,000.
Look at
Real
the
fast.
mini-map.
I summoned 1,000.
I
Ah!
don't even know.
I can't even get out of here.
Alive.
So you're seeing, there's 1,000 bears that my computer's rendering right now at 4K. My frames are dropping a little bit, but on the server, they're all still acting and reacting. Oh my gosh! And I'm dead. Oh no! Let me respawn. Let me come back and I'll summon a few more thousand.
Oh my goodness.
Jeff, it looks like you're dying.
I'm taking care of the bears.
Yeah, we're
No,
just.
they took care of me.
I'm trying to stay near toast. Protect the toast.
Oh, Jeff. Oh no. I spawned pretty far away from you guys though.
You can move to us.
But I think we could talk a little bit more obviously about this on stream. It's getting, what time is it? Oh no, we have the stream in 45 minutes. so we'll talk a little bit more about testing automation. Hope you guys enjoyed a little look again inside of Vera. Obviously, we're going to be showing a lot more as testing continues forward and leading up to the NDA release. But we will see you guys back on stream.
See ya, everybody.
Bye.
Everyone.
And we're back. We'll just play the video on the side. We'll sweet chat. Steven's
So,
summoning all
as-
the bears on us.
I know. So
We
as you
barely
guys
got
saw,
out of there alive.
Nice. It was a
I
bit
love all the bear
unbearable.
puns. Yeah, I love the bear puns. But as you guys saw at the end there, those are actual NPCs, 1,000 plus of them, and we can even get it higher at at the stage that we're at right now. That is a very significant achievement, particularly in Unreal Engine 4 for an MMORPG. That's a pretty big achievement. So big kudos to the Intrepid team on getting getting the server able to handle that, especially in the testing. At when we had the 5,000 bears, we also had hundreds of players as well in the area, and we were still operating at a performant server side. So that was very cool to see.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about on that front? But of course, I know we also want to talk a little bit more about our progress towards Alpha 1 on other ends. I know, Jeff, your team has definitely been working on different systems and all kinds of combat. I know combat is one of the things that people are most curious about because I know there's going to be some massive changes coming to combat.
Yeah, combat's a big push for us right now. What will actually be shown in Alpha 1 is a little bit in flux. We're trying to, we basically have gotten a brand new tool that allows us to author abilities both faster and then also have those abilities act more responsively than the system that we're using right now. So the connection between your character and what your character is doing is going to feel a lot better once we make this conversion, especially when it comes to all the abilities. Then on top of that, we've got a whole separate branch of combat prototype things that we're trying. And we're going to be playtesting those internally to see how they feel and kind of get a sense of what we want to bring over to the live game. So there's a bunch of like weird stuff, cool stuff, awesome stuff that we're all just trying out, throwing on the wall to see if it works. And for the things that do work and that the people who are playtesting it give like, hey, this is really fun, I really like this, we'll incorporate that into what's going on with the live game, and then that'll kind of make it live. And sort of as that feedback rolls through, that's going to be kind of gauge like the rate at which we get it into the test. So not entirely sure exactly how much of that will make it in. It's possible that everybody hates everything we've done and then none of it goes through. So it just depends on kind of where we're at and kind of the feedback that we get. So that's kind of where we're at on the combat side.
Yeah. And it's important to note, as we kind of introduce these new combat, components, all of that's going to be tested and collecting feedback for that. And as Jeff said, some might make it through, some might not. But the important thing is, we understand the absolute importance of combat because it is the most tactile and interfaced thing that you do as a player in the game, right? It is relevant and everywhere. So the great thing that what we're doing is we're incorporating you guys as the community as part of that feedback system so that we can continue to cater and adjust what needs to be adjusted. So you're not going to see just a full thrown combat system. Oh, this is a brand new combat system. Everything's there. It's going to be rolled out little by little. You're going to see these things get implemented little by little. You're going to have an opportunity to kind of provide feedback on that front.
Yeah, it's like Steven said, like this is the thing most people touch the most often, and it really needs to feel good, and it's a big thing that I care a lot about. And so we're going to spend a lot of time doing it. It's not going to come out of the box perfect, but it should be a pretty big improvement. And then we'll continue to make continual refinements as we move forward. We've got a long way to go there, and then there's a lot of other things that kind of depend on that too. So the quicker we find those answers, the better for our project.
Absolutely. And then some other stuff that you guys saw in here. Obviously, the world is constantly being updated. It is constantly being moved forward. You can just see that in looking back, in the videos we've had over the last couple of years of the game, that things are always changing. So you're going to continue to see that even, as soon as next month. Was next month? Was April? We're still in
Next
March
month's
right
May.
now.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that, as we continue to show footage next month, and in May when we drop the NDA, you're going to see a lot of these areas get some cool updates and some changes incorporated.
And then we're also just working on a ton of content, like you saw in the video. There's a kind of redone that whole starting area where that portal is. And the entire population of that area was going to shift a little bit. It's going to be kind of similar, but we're adding a bunch of new quests and probably some internal dungeon spaces in that area. And so it should be. There's going to be a lot more content for folks to kind of participate in that part of it. We want that first experience to be a little bit better than what it is right now, and get people their feet wet. We've had a lot of people who've been playing the game kind of understand how it works, but there's going to be a lot of new people who haven't ever touched it, so we want to make sure that their experience is pretty smooth. But do keep in mind it's still an alpha, and there's going to be a lot of rough edges to a lot of things. So
yeah, and just to give even a little bit more context, real quick, kind of last point here, with regards to the bears. Those bears and what they're doing kind of on the server, that's a lot of traffic and processes that are being computed. Like these bears, they have behavior state changes, they have hate lists, they have aggros, they need to replicate their position, they need to understand all the player positions, they have ability casts that they do with their attacks, they're doing damage that's going to set back forth. I mean, this is a lot of information that is being had on the server side. So while what you're seeing now, it looked a little bit rough, there's a considerable amount of time for us to fine tune and optimize that even further. The fact, though, that at this stage, the numbers we're seeing and are able to accomplish, that bodes very well for the types of battles that we want to have in the future, the types of concurrencies, the types of, just putting that massive back into massively multiplayer. These are the things that we strive for on a technical side, because from a design point of view, these are the types of encounters we want players to be able to experience, and not have to be segregated out into just 100 player chunks, right? That I think is going to be a very fun aspect of Ashes.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty awesome to see that, like from my perspective, right? I don't think I've ever been a part of a game that has been able to do something like that. It's not just server optimization, but it's network optimization as well, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into making 1,000 characters on the screen work like that in an MMO contest. It's a little bit different when it's just a client-side single-player game, but when you're talking about a game that is server authoritative and all that stuff is running on the server, like it's really cool to see happen, like to see it live. It's when I saw the bear event, like my mind was blown. I did not think that we'd be able to do something like that, especially at this stage of the game. So it's pretty awesome.
And there have been people asking questions in regards to the content that you're talking about. Will there be dungeons and raids and things of that sort for them to test in alpha as well?
I mean, there'll be some, right? Don't. It's not going to be a full, world experience. We have, I think, something on the order of like 6 or 7 dungeons. One of them is what I would call like semi-raid level. You could probably roll through with less than that, just given the tuning on it. We've got one world boss that is going to be raid level, so it's a true 40-person raid boss, and it's probably going to be pretty challenging to defeat. I'm not sure if it will be defeated during this alpha, but we'll see. There's a couple of world bosses which are kind of party level. So there will be a dungeon experience. There will be kind of a raid-ish experience, but all that stuff takes a lot of time to really tune out and make. And so we've got a handful of those things, but not like a full world of that yet.
Yeah, and just to touch on that a little bit further, I know that in the past, I said I was going to be considering opening up Alpha 1 sales again if we hit a certain level of achievement that I was waiting for. It is looking very good that that's going to be the case here over the next month. We're going to evaluate internally, but with the testing that was done over the past couple of weeks, I am very, very happy to see where we've gotten to overcome those February obstacles. And we'll be considering opening Alpha 1 sales again. And essentially, when we talk about what this experience for Alpha 1 is going to be, that month-long experience, it is not intended to be a content experience. I just want to make sure I preface this for anybody who's considering, right, if when we do open up Alpha 1 again, participating, you essentially are a tester. You're like a QA tester. You're jumping in here. You're giving us the data that we need. You're providing us with warm bodies to kind of run through and give us a look at our technical underside, making sure that we're hitting the beats we need to hit. It is not intended to be a game experience. It is not intended to be a fully fledged content experience. So keep that in mind. You're really. The alpha testers we have now are putting up with a lot, and we are super appreciative of them. I mean, as a studio, as a project, as a game, you guys as a community should be really appreciative of the work that they're doing too, because it is instrumental in us being able to fine-tune what needs to be fine-tuned, in finding the issues earlier rather than later. That's a very important piece of the puzzle. So just keep that in mind, a fair consumer warning.
Yeah, it's like we're putting enough content to like at least have stuff that's interesting for you guys to do while you're testing, but it's not a focus. It's not we don't expect you to be testing the content outside of like, does the content function, right?
Right.
And that's sort of kind of what it's there for. It's there to give you guys something to do, to occupy yourselves while you are doing that testing, but not too many steps further than that.
Absolutely.
And I think the other question that I see often in regards to Alpha 1 is about like artisan stuff and like harvesting and things on the crafting end.
Yeah.
What kind of things they'll get to experience in Alpha 1 in regards to that.
So that's super rudimentary. The crafting system is a huge system. It incorporates more than just crafting, right? It's economic and resource and gathering, the processing systems that touch all the building components and the freehold systems and those blueprints, and then there's the crafting recipes and the crafting stations that are tied into the node system. That's a very large system. Probably 90% of that is not online in Alpha 1. The core basics of what crafting represents as a gameplay loop, that is represented. So that means that there are gatherables out there. You will have to have tools in order to service those gatherables. There will be processing that's necessary, and then there's crafting stations that are available and can be constructed by the players. This is in Alpha 1. You have to collect the recipes, you have to collect the materials, and you have to refine the materials, and then you have to create the reagents, and then use those to kind of create the final crafting component that you're trying to create. So that in and of itself is present. But it is a very, very small piece of really what will be the larger crafting puzzle for Alpha 2 and betas.
Anything else you want to add on that front, Jeff?
I would say like kind of similarly, like the economy is not really ready to go yet, right? Like we have an economy, but it's not really going to be reflective of the final like how the economy is going to work. It'll work for Alpha 1, and there'll be plenty of things to trade and buy and exchange, but it's not going to be really super representative of what the final state is. So keep that in mind as well. It's a stubbed-in system. It's not a complete or really finalized system at all.
Yeah, speaking of economy, kind of bringing that into like the node system, I know we've also had a lot of questions in regards to Alpha 1 and how far they'll be able to progress a node and the process of that, like how far along that's going to be for them when they're testing that.
Yeah, so nodes during Alpha 1 will be capable of advancing to stage 3. That's the village stage. That's when the government systems come online. It's when the building capabilities are now available and people can purchase homes, and there's some societies, and all the quest hooks are available through the different stages. These are actively collecting experience currently from players. They're going to represent the right culture when they do propagate. All those systems are available, and I think there's, I don't know, between like 12 and 14 maybe nodes, or maybe we cut that down to 9. I'm not sure, but there's around, or 9. Okay, there's 9 nodes that are going to be available across the Alpha 1 experience, and each of them are going to be relevant for the different POIs that are placed across the world. There's a basic vassal system that's in place for those node systems. That's kind of the experience behind Alpha 1. Now, as we move forward, right, that core tech does facilitate going up additional stages, to stage 4, 5, 6, and really that becomes just an asset game, how and a content game really, how we service those additional node structures with additional POIs, with additional content and quest lines, with additional quest hooks, how we propagate the town, city, and metropolis style buildings and additional plots of land and whatnot. But in Alpha 1, it's delegated just to up to stage 3.
Awesome. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? I know we could talk forever, but we do have some other segments we need to get to as well.
Yeah, I think that that about covers it, right?
All right.
It's going to be a big area.
Moving on.
I know he said that it's not content focused, but there's a ton of content out there. So
yeah, it's true. And the design team's doing a great job. Bucky, Aimee, Chang, Taylor, Trad, Chris, Brian, Jeff, all of you guys are doing an awesome job on the content front. So keep up the great work.
Oh no,
Thank you,
Stephen, you
sir.
started saying the names, and you got to say them all.
I know. I forgot Doug. Doug just joined
Doug.
as well.
Yeah.
And Corey as well. I gotta grab them all.
All right. From there, obviously, we've been showing off a lot of the environment stuff, but we are going to show off some of the environment things that they sent my way that they wanted to share with you all. So first up, we have a couple different objects that they have been working on. Got a nice pile of bones there.
Oh wow, that's dark.
We went with I don't know if that first thing was a cage. It kind of looked like a cage.
Yeah.
And then we have bones. I know there's a couple different building structures, and some of these you've seen in the concept art that I showed in previous months. So you might recognize them. They've been doing a really great job of making, I think Jeff mentioned this in our previous dev update, was that when you look at the concept art versus the actual in-game, it's almost a replica.
One
It's
for
crazy.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are all examples of Slayborn architecture. Those are the corrupted bird people. I think we've referenced a long time ago in some of our older live streams. And that's one of the tribes called the Satari.
And then we're going into these like wrecked ship pieces.
Yeah, I'm hoping next month we'll show off some of the shipwreck / pirate cove / water areas.
Yeah.
After it gets the touch up from the water.
Everybody's excited about the pirate cove.
I know.
Like, it is really cool.
Speaking of which, we do have some pirate stuff that we're going to show off. Moving on over here, we have some location updates. You can see some of the terrain that they've been working on. It's some different plants, grassy lands.
So
the
you can see
mountains
those
that
are
Sophie's
all
great.
the portal revamp area. So this is all, if you could picture the ruins, it might, oh, that's different now.
Yeah, now
Sorry,
it's
I'm like
going
15
to the,
seconds behind.
Yeah, now it's going to the cove stuff. Yeah. And we'll actually have a fly-through video of the pirate dock POI. But you can see the light shining through the trees, some of these buildings. A little town, a little village.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. Love the work environment does. It's just, just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to see when we have different festivals and stuff too, decorating all the towns. And obviously this is one that we saw, which is a work in progress. This is the area that we saw in game.
Yeah, the corruption. So that's a cool component, obviously, of how the world kind of reacts and changes to the nodes. You kind of see these intrusions of corruption beginning to pervert and infest the lands, and these are obviously going to be sources by which NPC events kind of are driven based on player progression within the world. And these sources of evil need to be addressed by the players, or else they'll grow out of hand.
Yep,
And
as the
then we
world
have-
levels up, as the players level up, the world levels up around them.
And this is a little fly through from the engine of the pirate POI, dock POI area. Not the caves. I think that's the part that Jeff is
this
excited
is
to show
different
you.
than the Cove. This is actually dynamic POI. This one will evolve as players evolve the node that it's attached to. So this is kind of its final state. But
yeah, I mean that's one of the cool core functions of these points of interest across the world, is that dynamic level up, right? As the world grows, these points of interest grow. Additional buildings will spawn, additional monsters and leaders and quest hooks. All of these things start to grow with the world, and that's part of our trying to achieve that living, breathing buzzwords that have been used in the past, but really haven't quite been, I think, realized in a lot of our experiences as players. And it creates obviously a lot of content, and that's
it's
kind
hard.
of the,
It's real hard to do.
it's very hard, but the philosophy I think that we hold is, the more sandbox elements you provide players, the more choice, the more impact they have over the world. Really, that is a direct correlation to the amount of content that has to be then presented back to the player, because there's no point in opening a door if there's nothing behind the door. You have to have, if you're going to provide multiple doors to the players, you got to have multiple things behind the doors. So that's obviously part of our big task, our big job. A lot of pressure on the design team, on the art teams, to surface that content. But I think what it creates is a very compelling, immersive, and reactive world that many of us can lose a lot of time in.
And I think sometimes you guys see a lot of art, and you don't get to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that like the design team is working on, the engineering team is working on. I feel bad because the engineering team sent me some stuff that they wanted to share, but I'm like, that's not really stuff we want to show people, because we have to think about security too. So I think like that's the other side of it too, is that you don't get to see the behind the scenes of how the systems are created, and like necessarily the little tiny bits on that front for security purposes. We try to show it once it's in a more like a user facing way, is the best way to explain it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to note that from a visual standpoint, everything you ever see that we show you in game has code and engineers behind the screen.
Yes. And I think someone in
We
chat had
couldn't do it
asked about
without
like
them.
Yeah.
optimization, and that goes into everything that we're doing, right? Like that's constantly something that we're worrying about, is optimization and performance.
Yeah, this game will live or die based on its optimizations.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and we are making great strides on that already, and that's obviously the purpose of us incorporating you guys into the testing, as early as possible, even when it's not in that state that is representative of what people might be accustomed to from other projects. With Alpha, it's because that optimization, that vetting of our technology is is very integral to our design philosophy as well, right? We want to have those massive engagements. We need to start optimizing and testing as early as possible.
All right. Going to move on to our character stuff, unless you guys have anything else you want to add on environment. Our environment team, we love you. You're amazing, all of
We
you.
really do.
Yay!
All right, moving on to character. So you may have seen the Harvest Guard before. This was our November 2019 costume. And then the Still Soul plate, which was December 2020, I think. And we have some Valoon plate, which
Oh
I
my
think
gosh,
this
that's the
is
first time
progression.
I'm seeing the steel
Wait,
soul.
show me the steel soul. Was it?
It's in the run of show too, if you guys know.
Oh.
I put all the images there so you don't have to watch them live.
Got it. I
Yeah.
feel like we just ran past it though, like it was up for a second.
it's like a, what do you call it?
Pre-spin.
Yeah, a slideshow.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow. That's looking good.
Mm-hmm. It's not even done, so these
Yeah,
are all
no, that's a work in
progress.
progress. Yeah, it looks good.
Right.
Very cool.
And then we have a turntable of the Valoon plate as well.
Nice.
I feel like he's wearing a shield in his belly.
Now this is an in-game achievable armor set.
Yeah,
This
it's a
was
progression
this
plate.
one. This is a progression plate. So this was not a cosmetic. This is in-game level 10 through 20, I believe, right, Jeff?
10, 15, I think.
Level 10
But
to
yeah.
15, yeah. Level 10 to 15. This is an example of some plate armor that players can achieve inside the game. Just to give you guys comparisons at those tiers.
All right. And we have some creatures from our lovely character team. Got this little eyeball beholder. The little tiny eyeballs on the back.
He's
Anybody
not a
who doesn't like
beholder, though.
eyeballs is
That's
not
a-
going to enjoy this.
Yeah, don't say the B
don't
word.
say the B word. That's a D&D thing.
I know.
But
Well,
he
there's
is
those are
he's
everywhere.
a different thing, right? He's like a
Seer.
weird tadpole seer, a watcher.
Yeah, creepy. And then we've got this one, which I don't even know what this thing is, but I love it.
So that's a big dude. And
A
the
really big
idea,
dude.
it's a really big dude. And the idea behind him is you're going to see, big monsters. I think the character comes up to like his elbow maybe, or just beneath the elbow. I'm not sure, but you're going to see these big elites kind of just roaming and wandering through the world, right? They're not assigned to any particular hunting ground. They just kind of, roam. And I think that component is pretty cool, especially when you have an open world, right, where you can see something unique that's not matching kind of the monsters you're hunting in a certain area, but just strolls by, and you're like, gotta call your friends and like, oh my god, let's get this thing,
And then you don't.
And then you don't.
It's sick. I'm excited to be able to use this body structure too. It's cool. Very neat. I can't wait till we fight it. I'm sure Jeff's team is the most excited because you guys get to make the BI for all of them pretty much.
Yeah, the whole process of making an NPC is a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun design work that goes into it.
Maybe
So
we could show
this is like
the
stage one.
maybe we can show like the progress. Do like a video on that, like of the creation
It
of a
would.
creature.
We could try, yeah. The problem is a lot of that stuff happens like on in a Word document, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of like go back and forth, like, oh, this would be cool. Oh, we can't do that because it's going to cost too much, and like so there's a whole lot of back and forth in that. It might be fun to do that once we get back in the office. We could have like a conversation about like
Recording
we'll do
a
the
brainstorm
whole
thing.
design process of an NPC on paper, and that would be
Yeah.
kind of fun, maybe.
I know we want to do the Dev Diary series again, but that kind of required us to all be together.
No, for sure.
So that would definitely be something that would be part of a Dev Diary series. So when we're back in the office, we'll try to bring those back because I definitely think they let you have a better understanding of how things are created in the
for
world. And if you haven't seen those, definitely go check them out. They're over on our YouTube channel. There's actually a playlist with all of the Dev Diaries currently, even including our node system and buildings, how we create weapons, and all kinds of stuff. So go check that out. All right, and now I think we're gonna move on to our Q&A. Unless y'all have something else you want to mention? No?
No.
All right,
Q
let's
and
do
A.
it.
Q and A.
Q&A. All right. Our first question is from Liolani or Liolani. I apologize if I say anyone's names wrong. This is from the forums, and this is about cameras. How do you plan to balance the action camera to make it as viable as tab, which often offers more control over visibility, such as looking behind you?
That's a tough one. I think the way we tackle that is the easiness of of switching back and forth. But essentially, I mean, the definition of an action camera is that it's tied to the directional of your reticle, right? So there's components that we have applied, like such as how to deploy templated AoE attacks and having that work off of your cursor or your reticle for ease. You can vary out the zoom distance even when you're in action mode, and that'll give you a broader surveillance of the area around you. But essentially, that camera movement in action mode is going to be tied to the reticle center screen. And if you want to be able to kind of look in different areas, there's going to be two options. Either you can switch back to a tab target camera position, or there'll likely be a hotkey that you can hold, and when release, it'll snap back to the action camera. But when you hold it down, it'll give you free camera movement that we might employ. I don't know, Jeff, you have other thoughts on that?
No, I was actually just going to say that in PlanetSide we did something really similar where you had that reverse look camera, and that was something that you could do. Also, just the way in which, I mean, tab targeted stuff and action stuff will play a little bit differently, and they'll have different strengths and weaknesses, right? It's probably not going to be a one-to-one, like all the advantages of tab are going to be all the advantages that an action person has, right? They'll be a little bit different. They'll be a little bit asynchronous, and the hope is that those two things together we can balance, and that kind of people can play their own way. And with those strengths and weaknesses, they kind of even out. That's the hope at the end of the day.
All right. Moving on to our next question, we have from Micmac Muck on the forums, wants to know about apartments. What happens to the stuff I have in storage in my apartment if the mayor decides to destroy the apartment building?
All that stuff should get mailed to you, and you
Yeah.
can save your layout too. So that should all be relatively seamless and not super painful. Be a little bit painful.
Mhm.
You should
Yeah.
probably be mad at your mayor for that, but
Maybe you should vote them out. Vote for a new mayor. All right. Our next question is from Talents and Chaos Factor, and they want to know about legendary equipment. Roughly how much stronger might we expect legendary equipment to be over the rarity tier beneath it?
that's a thing we still have to answer, right? Once we start playing with the actual numbers, we'll get to something. It probably won't be. They will function as best in slot, or they might do things that other weapons just don't. Right? You can't roll that on any other thing, and it might give you an advantage that way. There's a lot of different ways we want to play with it, but at the end of the day, there still needs to be, because it's a PvP game, a little bit of parity, or not parity, but it's not going to be explosive, right? It'll
Yeah.
give you an advantage, but it's not going to be, shouldn't necessarily be a game changer.
Yeah, I would say generally, and we don't want to hold to these numbers because it's highly dependent on testing and balance passes that will be done due to testing. But traditionally, if you see progress from one rarity step to the next up, you can expect anywhere probably from 6 to 12% increase just on base stat values. That's something, again, that's going to be kind of tested and balanced out, but generally around that area.
Yeah, it's like we want legendaries to feel unique, right? They're not just going to be stat bars, right? They're not going to just be a chunk of stats that you get. We really want them to feel different than
Right.
items. That we want them to feel legendary. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, I think this next question is a life in symmetry, and they wanted to know about taming. Will I be unable to tame a monster in the wild that has the same appearance as a cosmetic mount slash pet? Um,
So I mean, there's going to be a wide arcing range of tameable animals that exist in the wild. Some of those variants, from at least a cosmetic perspective, may be tameable. Um, but essentially, when you kind of look at that taming system, this is going to be again another progression system that players are going to have to excel in order to have the ability to tame certain exotic creatures, of which might be those variants.
And when you're talking about cosmetics, you're not talking about the monthly cosmetics. You're talking that are exclusive. You're talking about just general cosmetics. Correct?
Marketplace cosmetics, correct?
Okay, cool. Just want to clarify because I know people will ask
Yeah.
about that. All right. Our next question is from Nostra about node advancement. When a node advances to stage 3, village, and enters the 21-day 21-day siege lockout period, what happens if it gains enough XP to advance further? I think during the siege period, stuff would lock down, right? So you wouldn't.
No, so this is, I think, in regards to when a node advances, it's given a 21-day protection against declared sieges. So if it were to advance within that same period of time, then that protection would likely apply to the second stage advancement as well.
I don't think that's likely to happen, though.
Yeah, well, from village to town, maybe, but definitely not from town to city or city to metropolis, right?
Right.
But I mean, the idea, just to give context, the idea behind that is, right, there are new functionalities and mechanisms that come online when a node advances, and you want to provide both time for elected governments to take place, which then have direct consequences and choices to be made over defensive capabilities, and also provides time for that node to collect and receive resources through taxation and or quests for its citizens to participate in, so that it has available treasury funds and or resources to allocate towards defensive structures and other types of defensive systems. So it would make sense that if there were to be an occurrence where a node advances within that window, that window is reset again for the new stage, because there are new correlating services and functions available.
All right. And then we have Big Doof or Bidoof, Bidoof.
Big doof.
And they want to know about gear. Will there be gear for artisans that boost their ability to craft / gather stronger items?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Quick answer. Stealth Reborn wants to know about currency. Will there be a currency cap limit, or are we free to hoard as much as we like?
I think generally there should not be a cap on
I don't
currency.
think it might. Well,
I mean, it might
I
be an
think technically, I
unachievable
think
cap.
there is one, but
Yeah.
there's only so many numbers we can hold in a
Right.
variable. But like that, we're not going to have an artificial one.
Yeah, I mean, from a practical standpoint, on what characters are legitimately capable of achieving, there won't be a cap in that regard.
Okay. Kanansta wants to know about looting. If I die as a green example from a mob or by fall damage, is my tombstone immediately lootable by other players, or will I have a window to recover it?
It would be immediately lootable.
It's hardcore, man. Don't die.
I mean, you're not going to drop your completed gear unless you're corrupt, right? It's going to be a portion of your collected gatherables. But speaking of dying, did you have an opportunity to take a look at the direction of those effects? Or maybe we'll show that next month.
They look awesome.
They
look
do look
awesome.
I wonder if there's a way I can send it to you, Margaret. We can show it just as like an impromptu.
Yeah, if you toss it to me, I don't know which.
Jeff,
stream-
do you know
I don't
where
if it's
it
a channel
is?
that
I
have
think it's in
access to.
design. Let me check.
Yeah, see if you can find it and just throw her the link and she can grab it. But to give you guys an idea, right, behind death and kind of the reason for why respawning occurs, right? As you guys know, the avatar of the goddess of creation is the phoenix, right? And the phoenix obviously has some very staple mythological lore to it with regards to the cycle of life and death and rebirth and that type of thing. as you enter into the world of Vera, you are in a way empowered with the spark of life that comes from the goddess of creation herself, and in that sense, you're able to house a portion of what that represents in your soul, in the conduit to the essence. And we're now, Jim and the awesome effects team right now are working on actually putting in place the real death effects and rebirth animation and effects. And part of that is on death, your body disintegrates into ash. And leaves behind a pile of ash, which will incorporate some of that material loss that people are talking about. But that'll be the interactable is that pile of ash, and then when you're reborn,
Oh, so you're like sifting through people's ashes to find
yeah,
out. Gross.
exactly.
You have to have like
Yes.
stuff sticking out of the ashes then.
Oh no, it's already the first pass is looking great.
Okay. I didn't
And
see
it's
this.
it's gonna start looking better and
I
better.
just linked it to you.
All right, I'll take it and prep it.
But yeah, it's going to be fun, I think, on the
video.
battlefield, as like people are if you're engaged in some type of like giant raid against a boss or in some PvP fight or whatever, you're just going to see people as they take their final hit point damage just start to fall to the ground and disintegrate, and smoke will just fly away. Oh, here we go.
That's like
Yes.
reminds me of the kind of Thanos snap.
And that
force.
smoke effect is going to be touched up, but the disintegration and the pile of ash that's left behind is just going to be
Yeah,
it's
this is
going
the
to
first
look
pass.
really good. This
That's
is first. This is
cool.
literally
Jim
the
wants
first
everybody to
pass.
know this is first pass.
I know. Poor Jim
Poor
is like, why are
Jim.
you showing this?
He's like, no, I didn't put it in the folder for a reason. Yeah, I try not to. Obviously, like we let the artist kind of decide what they think is ready to share with
Yes.
people.
And you can
We
see
should
that
have
the
a-
level he's
They wanna
in
be
is
proud.
his special effects level.
Yeah.
So ignore everything that's happening behind him.
We should have a little chat box that comes above the head of the character upon death that says, "I don't feel so good."
Oh god, it looks great. That looks
Crossover
awesome.
time.
Good job, Jim. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next question here, which is from Takualian or Takalian. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Back attacks. Are there plans for back attacks to deal bonus damage, like for rogues or anything like that? And I think we might have talked about something similar to this in the past.
Some abilities will. Rogues generally will have more of these than others, but we're going to be playing around with it. We can pretty much do contextual, positional abilities from any direction. So you'll probably see some flanking stuff. You'll see some back stuff. You might see some even frontal attack stuff, maybe for the tank or something along those lines.
Cool. And of course, we have another question here from Nixel, which is about player stats. Will there be a limit/soft cap for stats, or could I theoretically achieve something like 100% critical hit or block chance?
There will for sure be diminishing returns on certain stats. Yeah, go ahead.
And most stats are contested, which means you're kind of testing your rating versus other people's ratings. So you kind of figure out what the end result is but we're not going to go for like hard caps for sure.
All right. Do we have time for some bonus questions, or you?
Yeah, we can take some bonus questions.
Okay, we've got a few here. Toast is lovely and added some more here for me. So we have Neurotoxin, who wants to know about questing. Will all quests given by NPCs stay static as long as the node remains at the same level, or will there be other conditions that might change their quests?
There will be
can be.
Yeah, it kind of depends, right? Like, so for example, like if a particular node stays at a certain stage, but neighboring nodes begin to advance, those can have interactables with certain quest lines that one node, if it stays the same level, might change certain location destinations. It might add additional quest hooks. You might see population changes that occur around some of the points of interest that are, being delegated to it. Additionally, there might be even longer, more seasonal components that take into account kind of community direction in more organizational quest lines, right? And that could change, some of those as well. You might see achievements like downing certain world bosses affect, quest lines that aren't necessarily tied to the advancement of the node. So there's a lot that goes into kind of making these quests quote unquote dynamic and responsive to kind of what happens in the world, and not the vast majority of it is tied to node progression, but there are certain elements that are tied to other types of events and achievements in the world.
Yeah, there's a ton of interaction in the game, and so like a question like that's almost hard to answer, because the answer is probably going to be yes, and it's going to be like, to talk about it would have to be like more specific of a kind of question, like what kind of interaction are you speaking of, like what kind of behavior are you talking about, because it can be hard to nail down like what that means in that context, because the answer is almost always yes.
All right. So it's a combination of depends. Yes, in some cases. In other cases, it might
Right.
not. Yeah. I love it. I like a good combination of, quests that kind of can spawn, and then other ones where it's like, the projection path for it. So we have a Duck Frog wanting to know about auction houses. Will in-depth auction data be available, such as volume, moving averages, price history, etc.?
There will be some elements of that data available. It'll be presented through probably the economic nodes. There will probably have to be some advancement that's made in the economic node for its auctions to kind of show that data. But generally, at a final stage, some of the auction houses will be able to kind of show that data. I'm not sure if it'll be
Someone's going to
delegated
make
to
a
the Metropolis or
spreadsheet,
not.
and
Yeah, we talked about putting that data behind a couple of different service buildings. So
Yes.
that's probably how it's going to be surfaced. It's an opt-in, not necessarily. It doesn't come with the system. Your
Exactly.
mayor is going to have to build it for you.
All right. So have faith in your mayor that they will build the right buildings for you. Our next question is from Hakaiju, and it is about gear. Will I be able to raise the level requirement for my gear? Example, upgrading a level 45 weapon to a level 50 weapon.
No, there isn't itemization progression in that manner. Items are very much crafted on an individual basis and don't really have upgrade potential. There's a deconstruction system that can aid in crafting additional items in the future, I guess, in that sense, perhaps, but really you're then destroying that item for its components and parts in order to incorporate it in another recipe. So you don't really push a particular item's level requirement or the identity of that item. You can enhance it, you can add enchantments to it, but it's still the item it is.
But if you like the look of that item, would you be able to put that look on another one?
Oh, like transmogging?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have appearance systems in place that are similar to that, where you can apply the appearance of certain items on top of the items you're using.
So maybe
But
that will still get you what
question
you
was
wanted
really-
there,
Oh, okay, got it,
Hakaiju.
yeah.
I was just trying to help him
For sure.
get to what it seemed like they wanted. Like maybe they really liked the level 45 look of the weapon, but they obviously want the level 50 weapon because it's more powerful. Okay, cool. And Xylus or Exils wants to know about node government. Actually, our next two questions are both about node government. Will the winner of a military node's arena combat automatically become a mayor, or will they be able to designate another player as mayor? Like, so they win the combat, but they're like the champion for somebody else. That's kind of cool.
It is pretty
I
cool.
like it.
That would be a change in direction. We kind of wanted the people who, like, again, this is not a political kind of node. This is a node of power and kind of brute force, right? And so we wanted to represent that in the government. So somebody, having a champion is kind of a political move, right?
Yeah.
And it's about who your friends are and who you know and how much you can pay somebody. And we really wanted it to be like who the most powerful person, that person's the person on top.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on that front, Stephen?
No, that sounds right.
All right. Our last question here is from Haxon, and they want to know, will the service-oriented quest that determine a divine node's leadership be more group-focused or solo-focused?
This is just service-oriented for the divine nodes.
Yes.
Yeah, this would be individual focused.
Because again, remember, it's the points that you get because you are the one who is running for mayor. It's not a council. Which is not to say you couldn't necessarily. I guess you could maybe employ somebody to help you out in some weird circumstances, but it's meant to be solo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you can invite friends to assist you, right? In like, I guess, kill content related devotion tasks. But generally, most of those devotion oriented tasks in the divine node are going to be on an individual basis and couldn't utilize outside support. But, like Jeff said, the focus on that is your personal contribution.
Perfect. And that's going to wrap it up for our March development update. We hope that you all enjoyed hanging out with us. We definitely love sharing all of the amazing work that our team has been working on, and our Intrepid staff has been amazing. Everyone's kicking major butt, doing lots of work. It's been exciting seeing our team grow. And like Steven said, we're going to be doing another hiring phase in the summer, and we definitely need some more folks to be able to complete this ambitious project that we have going on. But as final reminder that we do have a new dev discussion and guild gathering coming up in April. Please partake in these. These help us decide on a lot of our systems, and it's going to help our design team immensely, understanding what the community wants. Obviously, we have internal things that we want to create, but we want to ensure that those things align with what you guys want as well. And sometimes you come up with some other ideas that we didn't think about. Beyond that, we also have our March cosmetics swapping over on April 7th. So definitely snag those up if you'd like them. And our next Alpha 1 preview playtest is scheduled for May 14th through May 21st. If you're eligible, expect an email from us closer as we get closer to the date. And of course, if you are part of our current testing, we'll keep letting you know about spot testing, but shh, it's under NDA. And of course, as always, we will have this up on our YouTube channel afterwards, so definitely go check it out. And right after we end the stream, it'll be over on our Twitch channel. And follow us on all of our social channels: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, every all the things at Ashes of Creation. We want to keep you informed and let you know what we've got going on. We post stuff almost every day, so if you're needing your Ashes of Creation fix, definitely send that our way. And of course, if you create any fan art, please share it with us on our forums over on our creation section, because we love seeing those. We have so many amazingly talented community members, and we love showcasing those.
Yes, and those of you guys who aren't connected into our social media or aren't on Discord or aren't on the forums, please consider doing so. Go in there, post your opinions, post commentary on our monthly updates. It is incredibly important. We do read all of that. The community puts together a great report on that so that all of our developers get an opportunity to read that as well. Your words do matter, so get engaged. It's an important part. This is obviously making an MMORPG, and one as ambitious as Ashes of Creation is a long process, but it's a great opportunity for all of you to be a part of that process if you choose. If you don't want to be, that's fine too. If you just want to wait for when the game comes out, that's totally cool. But we definitely encourage those of you who do have things to say to come and participate in the discussion. It's a very important one to have. We appreciate 100% all of the patience you guys show, that you guys tune in to our updates, the supportive messages you send. It is a great source of morale for our team, because it's hard work making an MMO. It's a hard work making an MMO of this size, and it gives us great motivation to come and give our best as we see the kind of excitement from the community, from our players, people who want to be a part of this project. It makes all of us that much more worthwhile to work on things. So we love you guys in the community. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate you guys tuning in faithfully, and we'll continue to give you guys updates and show you guys all the fun progression that we're making with Ashes of Creation. Anything else you want to add, Jeff?
No, just I think you guys nailed it. We're getting to the fun part now, and the more people participate, the more voices that get heard, the better, right? This is a game about community. It's a game about massive amounts of people, and we're just a few of them right now. And the more your voice is heard, the more likely it is that we'll integrate something that you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
thank you
just
to our community for
sorry, go ahead.
being welcoming of new folks. I see a lot of
Yes.
people answering questions and helping other people and RPing together. And I know Toast is always sharing stuff too. And like Stephen said, we're reporting on social, we're reporting on customer service, we're reporting on all of the community things. So any place where you're talking about us, we're grabbing that information and sharing it to our team.
Yep. And just one last thing, what you guys can do out there, those of you who are remaining right now watching us still, to help us grow, right? We're moving into this now medium-sized territory as a company, wanting to get over probably about 150. We want to get here in the next few months on the team. You guys helping us spread the word, continuing to help spread the word about the hiring opportunities that are available at Ashes of Creation to your favorite devs, to your favorite studios, to the projects that you've seen, going on social media and tagging people and doing all that stuff. It is a huge help to us. I know I'm unabashed in saying this, but I think the more you guys go out there and help us spread the word, the better it is, because we have a lot of additional seats to hire.
Yeah.
As we move into significant content production, we need as many people as possible. So get out there and help spread the word. It is very helpful.
All right. And with that, we're going to bid you adieu. We will see you next month for our next development update. We'll let you know when that's coming up. And of course, we thank you all for joining us. We will see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye,
Yes.
everybody. Have a good one.